So all I knew was he was there with a gun. That's all I knew.
This is the story of Shasmine Clack. On February 1st, 2025, law enforcement in Copper's Cove, Texas, responded to a report of a shooting at a residence on Tanner Drive. Inside the home, officers located 31-year-old Shasmine Clack with gunshot injuries. Medical personnel transported her to Advent Health Central Texas, where she was later pronounced dead. This marked the beginning of a case that would involve a clear sequence of events, a named suspect, and a developing investigation. Detectives identified 27-year-old Alonzo Ezekiel Hunter as the suspect. According to police, he was known to the victim.
And a Beaumont man sits in jail tonight charged with the killing of a woman in Copper's Cove near Waco. Investigators found 31-year-old Shasmine Clack with multiple gunshot wounds at a home on Tanner Drive. She died at a hospital. 27-year-old Alonzo Hunter of Beaumont was arrested at a nearby hotel. Not long after this shooting, a judge set Hunter's bond at $500,000.
After leaving the scene, he was located at a nearby hotel and taken into custody. He was charged with murder, arraigned, and held on a $500,000 bond. With the suspect detained, investigators began processing evidence, analyzing timelines, and documenting all available information related to the incident. Before we dive into today's story, we want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? And how do you feel as the story unfolds? Welcome to Deadly Crime Unmasked, the show where we expose the shocking crimes that rip through communities and the chilling secrets lurking behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications. You won't want to miss the gripping story that's coming up. Now let's dive in.
Tonight, we now know the identity of the victim and suspect in that shooting that took place this weekend. Just before noon on Saturday, Copper's Cove police found 31-year-old Shasmine Clack, who had been shot at a home off Anderson Avenue and Tanner Drive. Cove police identified the suspect as Alonzo Ezekiel Hunter of Beaumont. He was found at a nearby hotel and was arrested for murder.
Kind and giving person. Like, she helped a lot of people. Like, she would give literally the shirt off her back. And she did everything right, even though the situation turned out how it did. You did it. And we got the kids.
Shasmine Clack, a 31-year-old resident of Copper's Cove, Texas. Authorities publicly released her name following the initial notification of next of kin, confirming her age and residence as part of their early briefings. These details established the baseline profile used in the investigation and clarify that she was known locally within the area where the incident occurred. Local reporting consistently described Shasmine as a mother of 5, and this information was supported by statements from her family members, who spoke with multiple media outlets following the incident. According to relatives, her children were a central part of her life, though the exact ages, living arrangements, and custody statuses of each child have not been fully verified through official documentation. Family members, including her sister, publicly addressed the impact of her death, offering insight into her role within the home and the responsibilities she maintained. These statements form a key part of the victim's background but still require corroboration through court records, public filings, and interviews to confirm specifics regarding household structure and parental obligations. Reports from community members and social posts indicated that Shasmine was active in local circles, though these descriptions vary in detail and reliability. Some accounts referenced her participation in local events or social gatherings, but major news outlets have not confirmed a formal occupation, consistent employment history, or specific roles she may have held within the community. Because there is no uniform reporting on her job titles, workplace, or professional responsibilities, these claims remain unverified. Establishing her occupational background would require direct sourcing, such as employment records, statements from employers, or validated social media information that clearly identifies her work history. A full reconstruction of her personal history requires additional investigative steps. Confirming her birth date through official state records would solidify the foundation of her identity profile. Reviewing prior addresses would help investigators understand her mobility, any recent relocations, and the stability of her living situation. Clarifying custody arrangements for her children is also essential, especially if any active court cases, shared custody agreements, or disputes existed prior to the incident. These details may provide insight into stressors, responsibilities, or interpersonal dynamics relevant to understanding the broader context of her life. Investigators would also need to determine whether there were any previous police calls involving the victim, including reports of domestic disputes, welfare checks, or other incidents at prior residences. Information about restraining orders, either filed by her or against her, would require examination of county and district court databases. Reviewing recent life events, such as relationship changes, medical concerns, or significant personal transitions, would also help complete the picture of her background. Medical records, when legally accessible, would offer clarity regarding any documented injuries or health conditions relevant to her case history. At approximately 11:48 a.m. on February 1, 2025, law enforcement responded to a residence in the 900 block of Tanner Drive following a report of a gunshot victim. Officers located an adult female with apparent gunshot wounds. Emergency medical personnel transported the victim to Advent Health Central Texas for treatment. After on-scene interviews and preliminary investigative steps, responding officers and investigators located and arrested 27-year-old Alonzo Ezekiel Hunter at a hotel in the vicinity. Hunter was taken into custody and subsequently charged with murder. He was arraigned on February 2, 2025. Bond was set at $500,000. Medical personnel performed life-saving interventions at the scene and during transport. The victim remained under hospital care but later succumbed to injuries. Law enforcement described the matter as an active homicide investigation and released limited operational details while continuing evidence collection and witness interviews. The following items are not established in public releases and must be verified through records, forensic data, or direct evidence. Who was present at the residence in the hours immediately preceding the shooting? Arrival and departure times for any vehicles or persons associated with the victim or suspect. Interaction chronology inside the residence. Conversations, movements, confrontations. CAD/911 logs, dispatch timestamps, 911 call recordings and transcripts, witness statements and written affidavits, phone location data. Vehicle GPS/registration details and surveillance footage. Outgoing and incoming calls, text messages, messaging app logs, and social platform activity tied to victim and suspect accounts in the 24 to 72 hours before the incident. Any claims that the victim was live streaming or using social media immediately before the incident must be corroborated by native platform records and metadata. Records and evidence needed. Subpoenaed phone records, device forensic images, cloud backups, preservation and production requests to social platforms, native video files, comment logs, timestamps, IP metadata. Whether law enforcement had prior contacts or domestic disturbance reports involving either party at this address or elsewhere. Any previously filed restraining orders, protective orders, or arrest history indicating escalation. Police records for prior calls for service, court records for past charges or protective orders, background checks and incident reports. The following is a structured list of forensic and scene-level evidence to request, review, and document. Each item is presented with its investigative purpose. Official police scene report and narrative describing precise location of victim, room, floor, entry/exit points, and any observed disturbances. Crime scene photographs and drone/overhead imagery where available to document scene layout and blood patterns. Scene log showing personnel entry/exit times to establish chain of presence and contamination control. Establish scene mechanics, potential points of forced entry, and immediate evidence context. Firearms located at or near the scene. Model, serial number, condition, and whether loaded. Photograph and tag each weapon. Shell casings, bullet fragments, or projectiles collected and logged with precise grid coordinates. Latent prints on firearms, weapon surfaces, doors, windows, and high-touch surfaces. Biological samples. Blood spatter patterns, blood swabs from surfaces, and any blood transfer evidence on clothing or furniture. Signs of struggle, torn fabric, displaced furniture, Defensive wounds indications. Reconstruct positioning and interactions, determine number and direction of shots and link items to persons. Compare recovered projectiles and casings to any firearms seized. Run National Integrated Ballistic Information Network (NIBIN) queries to detect matches to prior incidents. Test suspect and victim hands, clothing, and nearby surfaces to determine firing proximity and whether any party fired a weapon. Process all items of evidentiary value for latent prints and compare against suspect and victim prints. Swab firearms, casings, clothing, and any items with potential contact to identify contributors. Match to known profiles. Obtain official medical examiner's report detailing cause and manner of death, number and trajectory of gunshot wounds, time of death estimation, and toxicology screens for substances that may affect behavior or incapacitation. Establish causation, shooter identification, sequence of shots, and physiological context. Forensic image of victim and suspect mobile devices and associated cloud backups to preserve messages, call logs, app data, and media. Native video files for any alleged live streams, with metadata, timestamps, device IDs, IP addresses. Surveillance footage from residences, surrounding homes, and nearby businesses for the critical time window. Confirm or refute live stream claims, establish digital timeline, and corroborate physical movements. Obtain property and evidence logs showing item description, collection time, collector identity, storage location, and transfer history. Each transfer must be logged and supported by signatures. Verify submission dates to forensic labs, evidence accession numbers, and receipt confirmation from labs. Document any delays between evidence collection and laboratory submission. Note whether lab backlogs could have affected result timelines. Request status updates and estimated completion dates for toxicology, DNA, and ballistics testing. Ensure prosecution disclosure includes all physical evidence reports, forensic results, arrest, affidavits, and witness statements as required by discovery rules. Track any assertions of withheld evidence and the legal basis for withholding. Prevent contamination claims, ensure admissibility, and evaluate whether procedural errors could affect evidentiary weight. File preservation requests/subpoenas for social platform content and device backups. Request CAD/911 logs and 911 call recording. Secure full police incident file, probable cause affidavit, booking records, and arrest report. Submit requests for autopsy and toxicology reports once released to next of kin or via public records procedures. Track lab submission receipts and chain of custody logs for all major items. Police reports confirm the identity of the suspect as Alonzo Ezekiel Hunter, age 27. He is documented as being from Beaumont, Texas, and was taken into custody shortly after the shooting incident that resulted in the death of Shasmine Clack. His age, residence, and identification details are recorded in official law enforcement filings. After his arrest, he was transported, booked, and formally charged with murder. A bond amount was assigned during arraignment, marking the official start of criminal proceedings against him. This verification establishes him as the primary subject of the investigation. His presence in Copperas Cove at the time of the incident, his arrest at a nearby location, and the formal charges filed by authorities form the factual basis of his involvement in the case. No alternative suspects have been publicly identified. Local reports and multiple community-level sources suggest that Hunter is believed to be the father of the victim's youngest child. This information has circulated across social posts, smaller news outlets, and community discussions. However, as of the latest verified updates, official police statements have not released documentation confirming the parental relationship. To establish this relationship definitively, investigators would need access to birth records, parental affidavits, or legal filings related to custody or child support arrangements. Interviews with family members or individuals close to both parties may also provide corroboration. The nature of their relationship, whether they were co-parenting, recently separated, or involved in ongoing disputes, requires verification through documented evidence rather than speculation. The relevance of this relationship is significant, as it may influence both motive and context. If confirmed, it may indicate a history of communication, disagreements, or shared responsibilities that investigators will need to explore. A thorough background investigation into Hunter's history is critical to determining whether the homicide followed a pattern of escalating behavior, previous threats, or long-standing conflicts. At this stage, law enforcement would conduct searches across several jurisdictions, focusing on areas where he lived, worked, or frequently traveled. These checks would include prior arrests or convictions in Beaumont, Copperas Cove, and surrounding regions. Any restraining orders filed by past partners, including the victim if applicable. Outstanding warrants or past legal disputes. Domestic violence history, which is often relevant in cases involving known personal connections. Firearm records, including legal purchases, prior confiscations, or unauthorized possession. Employment history to assess financial stability, recent job loss, or workplace issues. Travel patterns, including hotel bookings or extended trips that might coincide with significant moments in his relationship with the victim. Social media footprint, identifying posts, messages, or interactions that may indicate conflict, threats, or emotional volatility. These items are not speculation but represent standard investigative procedures. Any findings would then be compared against events leading up to the homicide to determine whether there were warning signs or escalating behaviors. Once detained, the suspect enters a formal phase where multiple documents and recorded actions become part of the official case file. These include arrest affidavit, which provides a summarized narrative of why law enforcement detained him and what evidence justified the arrest. Probable cause statement, outlining the facts available at the time of arrest that supported charging him with murder. Booking photo, documenting his appearance at intake. Bond and arraignment transcripts, detailing early court proceedings and the judge's reasoning behind bond decisions. Charging documents filed by the prosecutor, which specify the offense and elements the state must prove. Any formal statements made by the suspect after being read his Miranda rights, if the suspect chose to exercise the right to remain silent. Investigators must rely on evidence rather than self-incrimination. If statements were made voluntary or during recorded interviews, those would require review to determine consistency, contradictions, or admission of involvement. Access to these materials is essential for constructing an accurate timeline and understanding the suspect's version of events. As of official reporting, law enforcement has not released a confirmed motive. They have acknowledged only that the suspect was known to the victim. No verified police documents publicly outline arguments, disputes, or detailed interactions leading up to the homicide. This lack of clarity means motive remains an open topic within the investigation. Without officially stated motive, all conclusions must be treated as investigative possibilities rather than fact. Online discussions, community posts, and smaller news platforms have circulated several theoretical motives. These include jealousy relationship conflict disputes related to separation or dating domestic violence history or tension arguments tied to social media activity. These claims remain unverified by police. No official document or investigator has confirmed them. They reflect speculation from observers or individuals claiming knowledge of the relationship, but investigators cannot rely on such information without supporting evidence. Because of the rapid spread of unconfirmed details online, part of the investigative process requires separating documented facts from rumors. 6.3 Investigative steps to establish motive. To determine motive, investigators must pursue evidence-based avenues. Examine text messages, call logs, voicemail, direct messages, and social media interactions between the suspect and victim. Review deleted messages, cloud backups, and GPS data. Identify any threatening language, disputes, or patterns of harassment. Search for past domestic disturbance calls involving the suspect and victim. Analyze response notes, witness statements, and officer observations. Identify patterns of repeated incidents or escalating confrontations. Speak with family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers of both parties. Document statements regarding the nature of their relationship, recent arguments, changes in behavior, or known stressors. Determine whether any custody disputes, child support issues, or legal proceedings were pending. Examine recent filings for evidence of conflict. Review bank activity, large withdrawals, sudden spending, missed payments, or job-related disruptions. Identify financial pressure or life instability that might contribute to motive. Determine whether the weapon used was legally owned, recently purchased, stolen, or obtained unlawfully. Match the firearm to purchase records or prior possession reports, BY. Conducting these steps systematically, investigators can assemble a motive supported by factual evidence rather than public speculation. In the aftermath of the killing of 31-year-old Shasmine Clack, one of the most widely discussed elements of the case has been a series of circulating social media claims centered on an alleged Facebook livestream recorded shortly before the incident. These claims began appearing within hours of the first breaking news reports and spread rapidly across platforms such as Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Due to the speed at which social content travels, these narratives were amplified before any official confirmation or denial was released by law enforcement. As of now, no police report, court document, or verified platform record has confirmed that a live stream occurred during the victim's final hours. For this reason, all such claims must be treated as unverified pending formal evidence. The most common claim circulating online alleges that Shasmine Clack was active on Facebook Live on the night before the shooting and that a male individual, identified by commenters as the eventual suspect, appeared in the comments section of the livestream. According to various social media reposts, viewers allegedly warned the victim during the stream, suggesting that her safety was at risk. These clips, repackaged into short videos and commentary posts, have contributed to a narrative that the crime was unfolding in real time. However, none of these viral reposts contain timestamped metadata, and many appear to be screen recordings or edited fragments. Without direct access to the original file hosted on the Meta platform, no conclusion can be drawn regarding authenticity. A second, related claim suggests that a specific clip from the alleged livestream shows an exchange or visible tension that escalated prior to the shooting. This narrative often appears in YouTube breakdowns and short-form commentary clips, where creators analyze the reposted footage frame by frame. Again, these secondary recordings lack platform-verified timestamps, IP logs, or upload metadata, making them insufficient as evidentiary material. Until Meta provides server-side logs or until law enforcement confirms the video's existence, the footage and the claims built around it must remain categorized as unverified allegations, not established components of the case timeline. To properly investigate and verify the validity of these claims, a structured digital forensic protocol is required. The first step involves issuing a legal request to Meta Facebook to retrieve the original livestream archive, if it exists. Meta stores livestreams differently from standard uploaded videos, and only through a verified subpoena, preservation request, or warrant can investigators obtain the unaltered video file, associated comment logs, and the metadata that includes electronic timestamps, viewer IP addresses, and device identifiers. Without this formal request, third-party reposts cannot be used to confirm the existence of the stream. The second verification step requires securing digital warrants for both the victims and the suspect's devices. This includes examining phone backups, app data, cached livestream files, and cloud storage logs. If a livestream was indeed conducted, traces of the event would likely appear in activity logs, including data such as start and stop times, location coordinates, streaming quality, and interaction history. These records allow investigators to reconstruct whether Shasmine initiated a live broadcast, whether the suspect interacted digitally, and whether the stream coincided with known movement patterns recorded through GPS or cell tower data. Without this forensic-level device examination, no definitive statements can be made about the digital interactions preceding the incident. A third verification step involves obtaining native video files from individuals claiming to have watched the stream live. Many claims originate from viewers who captured the alleged broadcast on their phones. Collecting their original files, rather than relying on reposted clips, is essential. Native files contain embedded metadata such as creation time, time zone, device model, and software version, which allow forensic analysts to detect edits or manipulations. Reviewing these files helps determine whether the circulating clips were altered, mislabeled, or taken from unrelated broadcasts. Another required step is the process of interviewing witnesses who assert that they viewed the live stream in real time. These interviews must follow a consistent protocol. Gathering screenshots with metadata, documenting device time settings, and recording the exact sequence of events as remembered by the witnesses. Each account must be cross-checked against others and against digital footprints retrieved during the forensic extraction process. Only when multiple, independently verifiable data points align can the live stream claim move from unverified to confirmed. Because the live stream narrative remains unverified, there is a clear standard for responsible reporting. Any public statement, documentary, commentary video, or written content must avoid presenting the live stream claims as factual. Instead, these elements should be introduced using precise language such as circulating social media assertions, unverified reports, or claims not yet confirmed by law enforcement or platform data. This approach prevents misinformation, avoids interfering with ongoing legal proceedings, and maintains journalistic accuracy. When covering this aspect of the case, creators should focus on the verification process itself, outlining the steps investigators must take to authenticate the claims and emphasizing the distinction between speculation and confirmed fact. Beyond social media narratives, the confirmed family and community response forms a critical part of the documented aftermath. Shasmine Clack's sister, Shasmine Clack, publicly addressed the incident in statements given to local media outlets. Her statements focused on the impact of the loss on the victim's children and the broader family structure. The family confirmed that Shasmine was the mother of 5 and reported significant disruption to the children's daily lives. Additionally, the family organized a GoFundMe campaign to assist with funeral expenses and long-term support for the children. The account details, including the beneficiary information and campaign organizer, were publicly listed and widely shared across community networks. In the days following the incident, community members organized a balloon release to honor the victim. This event was documented through local news outlets and on social media. Attendees included family, friends, and local residents who wished to acknowledge the loss and show support. Police officials also released public statements extending condolences and requesting any additional information that might assist in the ongoing investigation. Community memorials, public social media posts, and neighborhood gatherings were documented during this period, demonstrating a collective response rooted in verified events rather than online speculation. For record-keeping and future reporting, several items must be documented and preserved. These include archived copies of family statements given to news outlets, screenshots or PDFs of the GoFundMe campaign, and verified details from community events including dates, organizers, and attendance. Preserving these materials ensures accuracy and prevents confusion between verified events and circulating claims. If this story gripped your heart and left you questioning the truth, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with others who need to hear it. For more chilling true crime stories that dive deep into the mysteries behind these tragedies, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest updates, investigations, and thought-provoking discussions. Thank you for being part of this journey with us as we uncover the truth and seek justice. Together, we can make a difference. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next one.